Hello, today's lesson is Chapter 1, Lesson 6. It is our introduction to algebra, which is variables and expressions. To start off today's recording, we're going to do a review from class today. And the first is a letter or symbol that represents a number. We learned today that that was a variable. The next is the branch of math that involves expressions with variables, and that is algebra. And the third vocabulary word we learned today is an algebraic expression. Contains variables, numbers, and at least one operation. So you can do 6 plus x. That is an example of an algebraic expression because it contains a number, which is 6, a variable, which is x, and at least one operation, which is addition. Another thing that we did in class today, we learned how to identify parts of an expression. So in this expression, negative 6x plus 17. So the variable here is x. That is the letter or symbol that represents a number. The coefficient is the number in front of the variable, and that is going to be negative 6 because that is the number right in front of the variable x. The constant is just a number. It's kind of a loner. It doesn't have any variables with it. So that is going to be positive 17. No need to write the plus sign. The terms, to determine the terms, I suggest you take out your imaginary hammer and you break up the expression, and it's always broken with addition and subtraction signs. So it's going to break right here, right in front of that addition sign. And there's no subtraction, but it would break in front of subtraction signs as well. So the terms here are negative 6x, and the second term is positive 17. No need to write the plus sign, though. It's assumed to be positive. Alrighty, so in today's flipped lesson, we're going to explore what we learned today in class, but we're going to push it further into word problems. So this word problem starts off the expression W over 30, where W is a person's weight in pounds, is used to find the approximate number of quarts of blood in a person's body. How many quarts of blood does a 120-pound person have? So right away, I see, I'm going to kind of underline my main W is a person's weight, and they're asking us how many quarts. So kind of when I dissect a word problem, I kind of underline and box the main important points. I'm going to use WSE, what we learned in class, to solve this. For the W part, I am going to write the expression, the algebraic expression that they gave us. W is the variable, the number's 30, and the operation here is division. That bar is, the fraction bar is another way to write division. For substitute, W is a person's weight, and they give us 120-pound weight. So I'm going to substitute 120 for W. And now evaluate, I'm actually going to do the math. So 120 divided by 30, I'm going to show some work over here. I can do 120 in the house divided by 30. 30 goes into 124. Ooh, that works out well. Another way, a shortcut, is whenever you have a 0 in the numerator and a 0 in the denominator, they can cancel each other out, and we know 12 divided by 3 is definitely 4. So I know my answer is going to be 4. This is a word problem, so I need units. How many quarts? So it's going to be 4 quarts. Another type of word problem you might find is a car rental company charges $19.99 per day and 17 cents per mile to rent a car. Write an expression. They're not asking us to solve anything. They're just asking for an expression that gives the total cost in dollars to rent a car for D days and M miles. This expression is going to have 2 variables in it, and they actually told us the variables to use. So D is for days and M is for miles. All right, so when I rent a car, my initial cost is going to be $19.99, and then if I rent it for 1 day, it's just going to be $19.99 times 1, but 2 days, it's going to be times 2, and 3 days, and I don't know how many days we rented it for, so I'm going to use the variable D, because that's what they told us to do. Now for my operation, I'm going to use addition. And now it's 17 cents per mile. So it's going to be 17 cents, and I don't know how many miles we drove either. So, but they told me to use M for miles. So then I'm going to put M. And there's our expression, 19.99 times D. And since they're right next door to each other, that indicates multiplication, plus 17 cents times M. And that's our final answer. We can't solve because we don't know how many days we rented the car for or how many miles they drove it. This is another review from class today using WSE. And on your note-taking guide, you do not have these problems written, so you can copy them now into your note-taking guide, and let's get started on solving these. The W part is you just rewrite the problem. The S we're going to substitute, and they always will tell us what they equal. So from the direction line, I know that F equals 4, so it's going to be 6 times 4 squared. Remember, 6 and F are being multiplied together, so I need to put that 4 in parentheses, or I can put a dot, but otherwise it will look like 64 squared, which will definitely be the wrong answer. So I need to somehow separate it. Next, I'm going to follow PEMDAS with exponents first. 4 squared is 16 times 6. I'm going to do some side work. Oops, times 16 times 6. There we go, caught that mistake. 1 times 6 is 6, 6 plus 3 is 9, and my final answer is 96. Now, over here, I'm going to copy down the problem. 4 times e squared. Now I'm going to substitute 4, e equals 3 squared, following PEMDAS. 3 squared is 9, 9, bring down the 4, 36. And for our final problem, d squared plus 7, I'm going to substitute 8 for d, bring down the plus 7. Now 8 squared is 64 plus 7, and my final answer is 71. Wonderful. At this point, you can feel free to rewatch any part of the video, or if you're feeling good about the material, you can move on to the Kia form, which is on my website. Just a reminder, this is a flipped lesson, so it will not give you your score. I want you to do your best on your first shot, and then we will work together tomorrow in class. Good luck.